So I think at this point, we've all agreed that Canada is an extremely expensive country to live in, but we're moving away from talking about the problems and diving straight into the solutions and how you can solve this problem for yourself. If you're making a good amount of money in this city, you're probably going to be very much okay. You're not going to suffer a lot. And that's why in this video, I'm going to give you the 5 steps that you need in order to make the kind of money that you need to live a comfortable life in Canada. I'm going to outline these steps for you one by one, and feel free to pause this video at any point and take notes, because I'm sure you're going to learn a bunch of things. This video is proudly sponsored by Androidex, the makers of the Sit to Stand decks right behind me. I'm going to talk about them later on in the video. So the first step that you're going to need to focus on is actually choosing the right business vehicle or the right niche or industry to be in. Now, if you've watched a couple of my videos, you know that the industry I always advise people to look into is direct response marketing. And the reason for that is really simple. There are tons of businesses in Canada that need help with either marketing or advertising. Don't get me wrong, other industries actually have job openings and job positions open, like project management and other roles in tech. But the interesting thing about marketing is that if you learn the skills that are needed in marketing, they don't only help you as a person, but it can also help any business that you decide to start in future, or any kind of business that you can literally think of. And that's why these skills are really, really powerful. So let's say you start a service-based business and you're offering something like copywriting, or you choose email marketing, or my personal favorite, running adverts, that's online adverts for businesses. If you learn how to do this, you can offer this service to multiple businesses while still keeping your day job, or just running this as your full-time business, right? The most important thing is for you to choose the right business vehicle, and then in this same step, what you want to do is pick the kind of people that you want to work with. So if you want to work with real estate agents, or you want to work with chiropractors or dentists, you simply pick one and then you focus on this type of clients. Or it could even be e-commerce, right? So the first step is simply picking one of these audiences or one of this niche or industry. Now, once you've picked the right business model or the right business vehicle, the next thing is to actually get trained on these skills. Because the truth is, if you offer these services but you don't deliver, there's going to be a problem, right? There's going to be a mismatch. So at this point, what you want to do is get trained on either things like copywriting, on email marketing and ads. Thankfully, I have a workshop that teaches people how to do this. The link is going to be in the description. But I'll tell you what I tell everybody who comes into my mentorship or into my programs. The fact that these are hot skills doesn't mean that you don't need to be good at them. You need to be able to answer questions when it comes to any of this thing. Any client or business should be able to message you or ask you a question about either copywriting or email marketing or advertising, and you should have a good answer for them. So this simply means that you need to get trained. You need to take either courses, you need to take classes. You can even start with free content, right? If you're someone who doesn't have a lot of resources, you can start with free content. But if you have access to resources, you can take a workshop like the one I'm offering, where you're going to learn about these skills and you're going to learn how to do them by yourself. Just from learning these skills, you're going to start to see the opportunities yourself, right? You're going to start to see the opportunities. I don't even need to tell you that the opportunities exist. Once you learn these skills, you're going to start seeing the opportunities for yourself, and then you can start hunting the opportunities. You know the right things to do, you know the right places to go, and you know the kind of things that people are looking for. Because when you learn, all this information becomes accessible to you. And you don't need to become like a world-class expert or anything like that. You just need to be able to navigate your way around these platforms, and you need to know the basics. You need to be very good at fundamentals. Once you're good with that, then the second step is done, all right? But remember, you need to pick the right business and then get trained on the skills that you selected. Now, the third step is actually landing clients or landing meetings. Now, this is actually a very interesting part, and it's the part that many people run away from, because many people are going to say things like, oh, I'm an introvert, or I don't like to talk to people. Guys, if you want to make money, you can't afford to make this kind of excuses. I know I couldn't afford to make this kind of excuses. And that's why when I first came to Canada, I was trying to get connections. I was literally at almost every networking event that I could think of. I was always on Eventbrite. I was always on Facebook groups looking for communities where people already exist. Because at the end of the day, the person who's going to hire you is an actual human being. And these people are interacting with other human beings. So it just makes sense for you to meet as many people as possible, right? So don't come in and just become a silo or try to only connect with people that look like you, right? That is the mistake I see a lot of people make. They're only trying to connect to people that look like them. But I can tell you for a fact that my network now is made up of people from diverse backgrounds and diverse ethnicities, right? Because I understand that the kind of clients that I want to work with are not always going to just look like me. They're going to be either Asian or Chinese or white or Caucasian. They're going to be different types. So I need to be able to blend into these communities. I don't need to be forced into it by either having just one job. And that's the next priority that you need to focus on, is on putting yourself into these communities. Join communities of other entrepreneurs, especially people who don't look like you, right? I know why I'm saying this. You want to be the one bringing other people who look like you into the community. You don't always want to look for communities where only people that look like you exist, because the more you keep doing that, the more you're limiting yourself, right? You want to be the one that creates diversity in these other communities. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to be easy, right? You're not going to have an easy time doing this. Some of them, you might feel like you're an outlier, or you might feel like you're in the wrong environment, and that's okay. That's perfectly fine. But the entire thing is that you need to get into this community as well. Now, a good place to start off looking for this kind of places is on Facebook groups, on LinkedIn communities. You get into these conversations and you become a part of these conversations. Now, most of these conversations are going to require you to do a lot of sitting in front of the desk or standing or doing a lot of work on the computer. And that's why it's actually very important that you take care of your sitting posture, of your well-being in general, which is where the sponsor of today's video comes in, Androidex. So Androidex sent me this amazing sit to stand desk, and trust me, this thing has been a game changer for me. Honestly, it has really improved my posture. I can adjust it. I can have it in a sitting position. I can have it in a standing position. And I'm not saying all this because they sent me a free review copy, right? I'm saying this because the product is actually a very good one, and it's something that I would honestly recommend to anybody. I think that you need to check out Androidex. The build quality is amazing. The pricing is superb. Like, everything about this product is actually on point. I'm really happy with the product, and I think you guys should go check it out. I'm going to leave the link to check it out in the description. So go ahead, click on it, and let me know your thoughts if you decide to get one. Now back to the video. So you're reaching out to these people, and then you're going to see that the more you do it, the more you get comfortable with it. When I first got started, the communities that I joined, for example, on Facebook, I wasn't really comfortable. But as time went on, I realized that nobody's actually paying that much attention to me. They're all waiting for you to put out valuable content, and then they start to reach out. And that's what I did. I started putting valuable content out there, started attending more networking events, and naturally, these people started reaching out to me. People that I thought were going to have objections towards me, it didn't even come up in conversations, right? They were just willing to hear me talk. And now all that was left for me to do is tell them that this is what I had to offer. And that was how I started getting into these places. I started making these connections. So you need to prioritize building connections outside of communities that look just like you. Now we're getting to the fun part. So you started landing interviews, you started landing meetings. These people are interested. They want to hear what you have to offer. And that is where the next hurdle comes in, which is knowing how to make an offer. What exactly are you going to sell, right? How do you put across what you're going to sell? Here is something very interesting, right? Many people think that when you want a job, all you need to do is just say, hey, I need a job, and someone's going to hire you. No, you want to be a bit more strategic with it. You want to be the kind of person that takes the initiative and says, hey, this is how I can help your business. This and this and this is what I have planned already. And once you do something like that, these people will start to see you in a different light. They see you as someone who is already a solution provider, because you're providing solutions by even having an offer from day one. And that is why it's super important to have gone through all the steps that I listed earlier, knowing the right business vehicle that you want to be in, and then getting trained on the skill. Because once you've done those two, and now you're in the meetings or in the interviews, when they start to talk, when you start to listen, you're going to be able to analyze what their business is about, and you know exactly what to offer them and how to offer it to them at that point in time. You know everything about the business, or you've heard enough about the business to know what exactly to offer. So at this point, all you're doing is you are breaking down what exactly you can do. Let's say in the case of advertising, if you're someone who wants to offer them advertising and they've told you about their business and what they do, you can quickly strategize. You can come up with a plan. Oh, here's how much you're going to spend. Here's what I'm going to be doing for you. Here's the ads I'm going to be managing. Here's how we're going to create the ads. Here's what we're going to say in the ads and all that good stuff. And once they see that from day one, they're like, yeah, this guy actually knows what he's talking about. And it makes it easier for them, way, way easier for them to give you a working chance and work with you. And not only that, it also makes it easier for them to refer other people to you, because once they see that you're clear of what you offer, it's easier for them to interpret your message and translate into another person who is interested in the business. It's very important for me to say this at this point, but not everybody that you reach out to is going to be the one to work with you. Sometimes the reason why you're reaching out to them is because they know someone who will be the person to give you the job that you're looking for. So that is why you need to be very articulate. You need to know what you're talking about, so that once your name comes up in any conversation, there's a reason why they're going to pick you. And then last but not the least is being able to deliver on what you said that you're going to do. Guys, if you are good at delivering these results, these people are going to love you and they're going to keep you for a good amount of time. You can go on my page and check out case studies that I made from the work that I did for a few clients. And trust me, these people are the ones telling other people about me right now. And they bring business to my table simply because I did a good job and they can see the results of what I did. And I wouldn't have been able to do any of this if I didn't have the skill in the first place. That's why it's super important to have the skill or have something that you can say, this is what I do. And these people see that you're actually valuable and they choose to work with you. Now at this stage, all you want to be doing is gathering things like case studies and testimonials, because case studies and testimonials is what makes it easier for you to land the next job. The first one might be the hardest, but the next one is going to be a lot easier because now you have proof of concept and you can say, hey, here's what I've done and here's the result that is gotten for a bunch of clients. Trust me, working with business owners in Canada is not different from working with business owners in other parts of the world. It simply boils down to you understanding how business works in this market and fitting yourself into the environment to make sure that you're getting the most value out of the people that you are working with. So if you learned something from this video, do make sure to leave a comment down below. I'm going to be in the comments as always, looking out for your comments. And if you have any questions also, let me know. Don't forget to check out Androidex in the description, and also my workshop if you want to learn the skill of advertising, know how to land clients, have the skill, and then know how to sell clients on this skill in Canada or in North America or any other markets. Do make sure to check that in the description as well. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.